back. And now do we have sound? Do we have sound?
He replied, "Oh, shoot. Sorry, got sidetracked. I'm still at work."
Oh, okay. Now we have sound. Okay, so we're good. All right. Well, let's go and hope he can join us. So,
Okay.
Streaming on Dementia Radio now. And recording in 3, 2, 1.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast. Brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice.
Hey, Luke Ski.
We have a pre-recorded interview with Steve Goodie.
We do have a pre-recorded interview with Steve Goodie, and we have, hopefully, Jeff Whitmire joining us a little bit later. He's apparently still at work, but hopefully he'll be able to get home and join us soon. Welcome to episode 563 of the Funny Music Podcast for April 1st, 2021. The title of this week's episode is, oh, look at that. For no reason whatsoever, because that's the way I roll, bitches. Yeah. Catch up.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke failed and didn't show up.
Hey.
What?
Oh, he's right.
So, Luke, what you been up to? Besides texting Jeff Whitmire.
I was just reading an email about a thing that's happening tomorrow. Anyway,
I know that reference.
Yes. So what could I tell you about my past week? Well, I had my 6-year anniversary of living in California, which I didn't really mention at all when it happened, but it happened. So that's interesting. But then, of course, you know, the way everyone has been viewing the past year, it's kind of like the past year doesn't count as an actual year. So, because we didn't actually get to, you know, go out and like live. Let's see. I recorded a podcast with Tony Goldmark, his Escape from Walt Disney podcast. And he has this thing where once you've been a guest on that show 10 times, you get a special guest choice, like, theoretical golden ticket to, at some point when you feel like invoking it, picking what the next episode will be all about rather than them using the randomizer. So I had been kind of holding on to mine for a while, waiting for, you know, my life to calm down, and they were doing Muppet Month for a month, so I wanted it to be past that, obviously. So at the very end of the 5th episode of Muppet Month, which I was also on, I said that I wanted to invoke my thing, and the thing from Disney Plus I chose to watch is The Emperor's New Groove. So it's me and Tony, and our other two panelists are Kyle and Lindsay. So the four of us talk about The Emperor's New Groove for a very long time, and it was wacky and wild and fun. The other main thing going on with me this past week is the company that had hired me just before MarsCon to make to clean up an animatic for them asked me if I would step in and be a storyboard artist, like both boarding and cleanup for them, because somebody on their end of things had a technology, like hardware, fail and they wouldn't be able to do it. So I said I would do it. And doing the cleanup, okay, they do everything in Adobe Animate, which is, you know, the program formerly known as Flash. But yeah, it's the current version. And I was only kind of, you know, I wasn't super familiar with it, but I knew enough to be able to figure it out and do that cleanup job way back when, a few weeks back. So now they want me to do both the boarding and like the rough board and the cleanup, and doing the rough board involves me having to take the audio files of like each line of dialogue has like a handful of takes, and then figuring out which take I think would be the best, and then laying it in there, following their script, laying it in there, and just try to make the timing work great. Now, this was being done in Storyboard Pro or pretty much any other program that involves, combining audio with video. This would be like a super snap for me. But Adobe Animate has the stupidest, most unintuitive, like it's like you just kind of keep looking through all of the menus. It's like, sound, and like the only thing that you'll find in the menus says like sound, mute all sounds. It's like, no, aren't there sound controls? It's like, how do you put the sounds into the thing? And I had to do multiple Google searches and just experiment, and it took me days to figure out, oh, this is how you put sounds into an Adobe Animate file. And it's the way I described it, by comparison to the guy, Alex, who hired me, was like, this is like from one of the, like, it's like an insane logic puzzle from one of the Saw movies. It's like, it's like, technically there is a way to solve this, but by the time you figure it out, all of your limbs will be gone. It's just.
Are you editing the takes together separately and then importing it, or are you trying to edit it in Animate?
The way it works best for the way their company is doing it is they've sent me, like, I have all of the takes of like just over a dozen different sets of line reads, and then each take has like 5 to 7 takes of it. So the way it works is I basically have to go, first of all, I had to go in and set a setting on audio for streaming and not for some other weird setting, which, again, completely not intuitive. Why? It's like you wouldn't have been able to figure out.
One of them keeps the audio in sync with the frames as it's playing, and the other one doesn't.
Yeah. So once I did that, then I had to figure out, like, the way, it's not like I can just like plunk this in and then like listen to all 7 takes and be, I want take number 3, and then chop off here and then chop off here and then delete the other sides and then slide it where I need it. It's like, no, I can't do any of that because that would be easy and logical. So I have to like listen to it in its little like, in the library mode, and then from there set like the highlighter around just the part I want, and then figure out like the exact frame where I want that thing to be put in, and then, highlight that frame and then drag it over to the thing and then drop it right there. And the only way I can move it back and forth is to either go to one of the blank spaces before it in the timeline and then be like, it's like either add frame, or delete frame, delete frame, delete frame. So I'm literally going to like click, just to try to like, it's like, is this where I want it? Is this where I want it? Okay, right here. So I finally, I finally got to a point where it's like, okay, I figured out how to do this. I've managed to get the first, how many seconds? Like 12 seconds of this rough board, like figured out, that only had 2 lines of dialogue in it thus far. Oh no, wait, 3, excuse me. One was like humming, one was coughing, and one was whatever. So it's like I got that, just a few basic drawings, and the fact that I got the sounds in the right place, and I just rendered that and sent it to Alex, and I'm like, yay, I figured it out. So I'm just gonna have to keep hammering away at this. It's like apparently this is going to be the really hard part, and then once I get past this, the rest will be fairly easy.
It might be worth getting on a Zoom call with one of the other animators and seeing how they work, because it sounds like you're making it more difficult than it needs to be. There's probably something you're missing.
I suppose. I don't know. It's they have a Discord thing set up, and okay. I guess I could like hop in there and just see if I can talk to whoever it is that regularly does the sound stuff to see if like, am I missing something, or is this completely convoluted way of doing it the right way to do it? And if they say it is, and it is. But yeah, at least I finally figured it out. So I'm trying to like, my executive dysfunction and my like, task avoidance just keeps wanting to be like, oh, you should do this. You should like go over here. You could like animate a whole different thing. You could do something more fun. You could do like whatever. And I'm like, no, I need to work on this thing because I need to get them the finished, cleaned up version, by April 14th. So I just need to keep plugging away at it. So anyway, what have you been up to?
I also have a freelance project I need to keep plugging away at, and my computer yesterday decided it was going to bork itself. So yay! It's behaving at the moment. It's working. But my screen, yesterday I plugged in one of my external monitors, and the screen just kind of went fucking nuts. And so I immediately unplugged the external monitors, and it didn't stop. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And I realized if I move the screen forward past 90 degrees, it works. If I open it up to where I need it to be so I can, see, it doesn't work. And then I remembered that this is actually a problem with this generation of Macs that I'm using. It's actually a design flaw, and Apple has like a recall replacement program out there. But I looked it up, and the replacement program is only for the 13-inch. I didn't see one for the 15-inch, and I have a 15-inch, so I don't know whether there's a repair program for my computer or not. I got to call Apple and find out. This is going to be fun. I managed to get it behave. If I put the screen where I need it and then like push on the back and pull on the sides of the monitors, I can get it to reconnect and behave. It's a pain in the ass and not what I need to be dealing with right now. But anyway, that's what I've been up to. So we're waiting for Jeff Whitmire. So we're gonna play.
Actually, he messaged me saying that he won't be able to make it because he's at work. So
bummer. Okay. Damn it! I wanted to talk to him about Holliston. Oh well. I discovered a new show on Shudder, and holy crap, it's awesome. Actually, you might like it. It's a comedy. All right. So, well, in that case, we'll just do them in order. If he can't come, I'll just go in the order I already got it programmed. So let's do Jeff's then. So here is. Wait, I don't remember. Do I have these in the right order? What the hell song is this? Yeah, that's Jeff's. Okay. So here it is. Let's do Jeff's song, Wanda Vision by Jeff Whitmire.
Previously on Wanda Vision.
Stoic and he's dirty, thinks like a machine. His voice shining fashion with Miss Geraldine. I started to see color, was that an earthquake? My living room's a lake where her water breaks. Screwed my mind with your Wanda Vision. Town designed by your Wanda Vision. Ooh, what did you do to me? Need Jimmy Woo to see. My life is airing on a tube TV. Amazing how quick they all just seem to breed. I guess Pietro's not the only one on speed. And now tonight they're dressing up in 80s latex. But still it's pretty clear they don't practice apex. Hypnotized by your Wanda Vision. Family ties, no, it's Wanda Vision. And ooh, you had
You watched WandaVision, I assume.
Yes,
What'd you think?
I really liked it a lot. I loved the. I mean, it starts off just being more or less purely, the sitcom stuff, and you're just kind of like, and it's like you're being taken on a ride here of like, okay, this is weird. Why? What does this have anything to do with the MCU and yada yada yada? And then the story starts unfolding little by little as these, decade decade over decade of sitcom styles keep happening. And then eventually you have some episodes where you actually see what the real deal is. I'm trying to be spoiler free more or less for those who haven't seen it.
I loved it. I thought it was very creative. I thought it was a really interesting take on everything, and how like the way they set it up with the sitcoms and how they integrated that into the story and everything. I thought it was really creative. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was epic. I loved the special. Well, there's multiple people from the MCU that show up in this show, but there's one kind of celebrity so to speak, person that shows up halfway through the series that just made me go like I think everybody did that, and it was like that was a bold move. That was really cool. And so many different fan theories were going on about lots of things, including and especially that guy showing up. So but yeah, so a lot of the fans ended up being like, nope, totally not the thing that's happening. But yeah, and overall, this ended up being a show that's all about these themes of, well, I don't know. If I say it, I guess, is that gonna spoil it for people? I don't know. Just basically, going into the show, if you watch all the MCU movies and you've seen, Avengers Endgame, or Avengers Infinity War, you see that Vision ends up getting killed by Thanos before the whole snap thing happens. So basically, you dive into WandaVision into like a I Love Lucy style sitcom with Wanda and Vision, who's very much alive in this black and white world, and it's just kind of like what? And then you just see where it goes from there. But yeah, just so much fun. And and Catherine Hahn, who plays one of the she plays kind of the sassy next door neighbor at the beginning of the series to Wanda and Vision. And
she's
as
great.
The series goes on, it's like she just gets more epic and epic.
Yeah.
And now it's like, even though she's been working in Hollywood doing tons of comedy stuff for years, but now all of a sudden it's like everyone's noticed her, and it's like, oh snap, this woman is awesome, and she's finally getting the attention she deserves for being really cool and funny and hilarious. So
yeah, she's fantastic.
Anyway.
Brett G and I'm sorry, Wildcard in the chat says, I need to request this song. It needs to be on the top 10. And I agree. I love this song. I played this on Manic Mondays when he first posted it as part of his FuMP. I think he just posted a demo, and I think I played that.
And speaking of the top 10, I wanted to mention, because I don't think we've actually said this on the show. For years I've been, trying to, like, when I have a new song out, I'm always like, hey, go to the request page for Dr. Demento and request songs, and hopefully it'll make the top 10. Be sure to include your email address, blah blah blah. And all of that is still true. But basically, in the past year or so at least, Dr. Demento has really embraced the Facebook group, the official Facebook group, and is basically garnering the majority of his requests, especially as far as tabulating the top 10 goes, from what people are talking about in the Facebook group. In fact, he pretty much goes in there once a month and makes a specific post saying, hey, let me know what songs you want to make the top 10. And then people will either respond to that thread by saying what songs they want, and then other people will see, oh, like, somebody requested WandaVision. I'm going to click like on this and say that by clicking like, I am also saying that I also want WandaVision to be requested. And then other, without even outside of that specific thread that Dr. D posts, people can just post on their own, that week or whatever with, in their, put in the text like top 10 and then the name of the song and the artist, and you don't have to have a link to a video or a sound file, but it helps sometimes if it's not something that he's heard before. But that's basically the new way of getting songs that you like on the top 10 is having it be done through the Dr. Demento official Facebook group. I basically asked about it sometime in the past year, and it just seems like, asking people to go make their requests via the specific request page at Dr. D's website, as far as like trying to get something on the top 10 goes, really is a, drop in the bucket compared to how people, compared to the numbers of people clicking like on stuff in the Facebook group. So I'm saying all that. So if you want WandaVision to make the top 10, then that's what you need to do. And I've been trying to keep on top of that as well this year with, for example, Knucklehead song, Peed in My Pants, making sure that, I'm trying to let people know, like, I'm requesting Peed in My Pants for top 10, woo, and, make that happen. Cause that's been on the past 3 top 10s now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. Anyway, but yeah, just have you been watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
I haven't started watching that yet. I've been watching Holliston on Shudder, which is a horror-themed sitcom about 2 guys who host a cable access, show where they show movies and comment on them and stuff. Dee Snider from Twisted Sister is their boss at the cable station. Odorous Urungus from Gwar is one of the guy's imaginary friends, and they have one of the guy's girlfriends and one of the guy's ex-girlfriends also on the show, and it's cheesy as hell. It's like low budget, and they have like the cheesy soundtrack, a laugh track, and everything, and they do lots of fourth wall breaking, and it's like they know they're on a TV show. They know they're on a bad TV show, and it's so funny. Like there was one scene where they had to go. The girls had to go to a convenience store to buy vinegar, and the clerk behind the counter was Brian Posehn, and so they go up to the thing, and they go, "Hi, Mister," and he goes, "Oh no, they didn't give me a name. It's just clerk." Like in the show, they didn't give him a character name. I'm just clerk. And they're like, oh, that's going to look so bad on your reel. No, it's okay. I'm making up my own name. How about Doctor? And then something. So then 2 police come in for reasons, and they start harassing the girls, and the girls are like, you leave us alone, Officer Number 1. And the cop is like, oh no, they gave me a name. I'm Officer McMahon, So it's a lot stuff like that. It's really funny. And I'm loving it. I just finished season 1. There's only 2 seasons, and there are only 6 episodes, so I'm going through it quick. But man, I'm enjoying the hell out of it. So, all right, enough sideways talk. Let's go on to what the hell is next on this show? God, I am so tired. Promo and news. That's it.
This is the FuMP.
Zoom where it happened, the Zoom where it happened. They're all dead within the Zoom where it happened, the Zoom where it happened, the Zoom where it happened. Panic weeds were flowing when tents were made. The worst time afraid, and this cake wasn't made. And all our pants we were crapping. No one survived inside the Zoom where it happened.
Box of the Capri Sun. We drank the whole box, yeah, I know.
It was dumb.
Then after that we had a couple Cokes. We started laughing, telling knock-knock jokes. He said,
Knock, knock.
I said, who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow. Who?
That's the Funny Music Project at thefump.com. THEFUMP.com.
But I could not pee. Couldn't control it, yo, that's right, I peed. I know everyone is laughing at me. H-J-K, element. I peed in my pants, I peed in my pants, I peed in my pants, I peed in my pants.
Well, I'm cruising inside of my pump cup ride, got my hoodie pulled high, but I'm glowing yellow eyes. Rocking through the desert just to see what we can see. All the Jawas in the house say Utini. All the Jawas in the house say Utini. I'm going Jawa.
Time for funny music news. Something.
In the news, as we mentioned, tomorrow is Dr. Demento's birthday. Dr. Demento turns 80 years old tomorrow, so happy birthday, Dr. Demento. And speaking of Dr. Demento, I'm mentioning this just mostly for the sake of completion. It's probably sold out by now, but I wanted to mention it. Starting today, at the store at drdemento.com. They are now selling an autographed Dr. Demento gray marbled vinyl variant of the First Century Dementia 2-disc LP set. They're only making 150 of them, which is why it went on sale at noon Eastern today. It is now 9:30 Eastern. So if they haven't sold 150 of them by now, you can go to store.drdemento.com and order it. My guess is it's probably sold out by now, but I wanted to mention it just so that we can say that we mentioned it. Also, look for a brand new embroidered Dr. Demento knit beanie launching on the store on the 1st too. I don't know if that's an April Fool's joke or not. I haven't checked. Speaking of April Fool's jokes, the April Fool's FuMP newsletter went out today. If you're not on our mailing list, you can view it online at tiny.cc/FuMP0420101 because it has to be April 2101. So FuMP0420101. Some amusing stuff in this year's edition. So check that out. And Rand Bellavia's IndieGoGo for his solo project is up to $3,495 of his $4,000 goal with 7 days left, which is a neat trick because last week he had 10 days left. And I'm pretty sure 10 minus 7 is not 7. But who knows? So, all right, you got anything before tour dates?
I do not.
All right, tour dates. On Sundays on YouTube, Escape from the Secret Lab featuring Dr. Pinkerton. On Thursdays online, Steve Goodie. And on Fridays online, Carla Ulbrich. And coming up on April 3rd on Zoom, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. Birthdays, somehow we missed this, was not on the spreadsheet, but the other day, March 27th, was Bonnie Gordon's birthday. So happy birthday, Bonnie of the Library Bards. All right. Second song this week is by Steve Goodie, and I did manage to pre-record an interview with him. So check that out. Here we go.
I gave you my heart, I didn't make you win it. I gave you a dress, but I never saw you in it. Now you say it's over just as soon as we begin it. Here's a flower, baby, stick your nose in it. When I wrote you this song, I thought we were fine. Then you sprouted some horns, so I grew me a spine. No, I'm not the kind of guy who'd go and give you a smack. Well, I wrote you this song, now I want it back. You wanted me bad, then you wanted to wait. You put up this wall I couldn't penetrate. You said you were waiting for the perfect time. Turns out I was waiting in a really long line. When I wrote you this song, I'd have given you the sky. Turns out you seduced 2/3 of gamma pi. And in the library too, in the non-fiction stacks. Well, I wrote you this song, now I want it back. Yes, I wrote you this song and I want it back. Do you love me? Or anyone you know? Do you want this song? Do you know how it goes? No, I don't think you know. When I wrote you this song, it was lightness and fluff. I couldn't do no better, I couldn't get enough. And now I'm serious like a fucking heart attack. You can keep my stuff, but I want the song back. Yes, I wrote you a song and I want it back. Well, I wrote you a song and I want it back. Yeah, I wrote you a song and I want it back. Wrote you a song and I want it back. Yeah, I wrote you a song and I want it back. Well, I wrote you a song and I want it back. You can keep my stuff, but I want the song back.
I'm here with Steve Goodie
Yay!
because he is once again off doing his comedy show thing rather than being on the FuMPCast.
All right. Well, I'm doing both.
Now you can do both through the
You can have it all.
technology.
Thanks to the power of Zoom, you can be all kinds of places and not be anywhere at the same time.
Right. Like I'm supposed to be at work right now.
Yeah. And
So
it's supposed
tell
to be
us about-
springtime here.
Yeah, right. We got snow this morning.
Yay.
So tell us about Take It Back.
Well, this was written back in the early 90s, back before any of you were born. And I was grumpy and listening to a lot of Zappa, as opposed to right now. Now I'm grumpy listening to Zappa and wearing a cardigan. And I always liked the song, and I thought it deserved a somewhat better recording, because back when I recorded it, I had only fake drums, did not have access to real drum recording. And listening to it in the past couple weeks, I realized there's a couple lines in there a little problematic. Let's just smooth those over a little bit.
I saw that
so I
note
did.
in your write-up, and I was like, well, now I want to hear the original. I want to hear what it cut out.
There's just a couple things. The line, well, in the song, when I describe her as having seduced a half of Gamma Pi, meaning that she slept with half of eternity, or a third, whatever I said. In the original, she seduced Van Buren Junior High, which makes her not just a sexual predator, but a pedophile.
Yeah.
So I decided, let's just lighten that up just a little bit. Little things like that.
We'll go with the slut shaming. We won't go with.
I think it's better that way, yeah. I'm not saying that she shouldn't sleep with people. I'm just saying if she's with me, she should only sleep with me, and if she's not, she should say so.
Right. Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Damn it. I think that's what I'm saying. I can't remember. It was a long time ago.
We have an open relationship. You can sleep with the junior high, sure.
Yeah, it's called an open relationship because Pandora's box is now open.
Right. Exactly. So you added real drums and a real piano.
Yeah,
Is there anything else?
and re-sang a couple lines.
Re-sang
And
a
it's
couple
interesting that my
lines.
vocal,
Oh, you used the original vocal recording
Mhm.
from the 90s?
except for the lines I changed, but different microphone, different recording system, different room, different everything, and yet it still matched pretty well 7 years later.
Nice. I was going to say it didn't sound any different from one
Cool.
of your normal.
I have changed not at all, except for the cardigan.
It was funny because I was listening to. I found an old. I was clearing off a hard drive space, and I found my Friggin' Here recordings from the show I used to host in Rochester in the 90s, and I listened to it, and I don't know whether it's the recording or whether it's just my voice, but I sound noticeably different. Like it's still recognizable as me,
Mhm.
but I'm like, there's a difference in my voice, and I'm like, I don't know what that
There's
is.
a difference in my voice too. They all change, but
Yeah.
I think I was sort of doing my impression of myself.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, or maybe you change enough things and it winds up sounding the same. Because, like I said, everything in the signal chain is different. They should have sounded different for any number of reasons. Maybe they all canceled each other out.
Yeah, and it also may just be that I'm better at talking on a microphone now than I was when I was on WIPR. you know?
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
I'm just sitting in the room. Okay, Twink, what are we gonna play next?
Or maybe if you just add lots of reverb and echo to everything, that makes everything sound the same. It's like an iron.
Yeah.
Just smooth everything out.
So you recorded this 96K 24-bit audio.
The new stuff, yeah.
Can you hear the difference in that?
Not really. I don't know what I hear differences. I don't know that I attribute it to sampling rate and bit depth. There's a definite sound to ADATs, but I don't know that it's because of the format of the recording. I think it's the converters in the machine.
Could be.
So, and any number of other things in the chain also. But I definitely hear a difference recording with the system I have now versus the system I had back then because of all the different elements in the system, not just the sample rate.
Yeah, because I tried recording one of my recent songs. I forget which. It might have been The Mandalorian. I did it in 96-24, and because I wanted to see if I could hear a difference, and I really don't. Like I recorded it in that, and then I downsampled it to 4416 for the CD, and I compared the two, and I listened to the two back to back, toggling between them. I can't hear a difference.
Well, a lot of it is because as we get older, we have less high frequency hearing, but also a lot of the really expensive audio gear or things that take up lots of room on your hard drive, they make a difference in how things go together more than they make a difference in how any one thing sounds by itself.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've got a really expensive compressor that I run vocals through. If you just solo the vocal and listen to it and switch in and out the compressor, I really can't hear the difference, but I hear the difference in how it sits in the mix. It's very noticeable.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not, is your oregano expensive oregano? It's more how fancy are all of your ingredients, and how much did you spend on that stove and that backsplash?
Yeah, it also may be that, I have this microphone that I record with, and it's not, a top of the line studio microphone.
Again, I don't think any one thing really matters that much. It's how you put it all together. And once they're all together, you probably would notice if you had recorded your vocal in that microphone and a really expensive one at the same time, at the same distance from your face, and listen to how it goes together with all the instruments, you'd probably hear a difference there. I expect.
Could be, yeah.
But
I was debating whether to start, recording in high bit rate, going forward, and I'm like,
there's really no reason not to, because hard drives are cheap and your processor can handle it.
It is.
I do everything at 96 now.
I don't
just
hear
because.
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth it.
Well, it also means that if other people are recording at that rate, that you won't have to convert to work with other people's parts. And I ask everybody that I work with, if I'm working with people from afar, record at 96 if you possibly can, and save me a conversion. And I think it helps. Every little bit does help, I think. So, bit. Get it?
Yeah, that's what you did there. All 16 of them, yeah.
64, thank you very much.
All right. So the other thing you mentioned is if you ever tried bashing on guitars and drums really loud, it's fun. Did you break anything while you were doing this?
No, the stuff's pretty resilient, but it's just fun I might have broken a string. I think I caught a cuticle at one point. But what's funny is, to me anyway, this may not be funny to anybody else. Remember my really long lawnmower song, a parody of Albuquerque? Yeah. About how I moved from one house to another and wound up driving my new riding mower to the old house to mow the lawn there. Well, the old house, which was a really cute gingerbread house but did not allow me to play the drums at night, has just been demolished. And I only found that out a couple days ago, and I went by and holy crap, it's got very industrial looking slabs of cement poured now. So I don't know what's going to be there. And it's all very sad. I'm glad I moved out when I did. 13 years later, I don't know where I'd be.
Yeah, interesting.
Life moves on, Tom.
Yes, it does. So do you have anything you'd like to plug?
The virtual comedy show every Thursday right now, which you can't listen to because you're listening to this right now. And
or you could be at the virtual comedy show right now and watch the video of this playback on YouTube.
You do have options.
Works the other way too.
You absolutely do. SteveGoodie.com for all your Steve Goodie crap needs. And it is looking more likely that Edinburgh Fringe Festival will happen this August. We're not sure yet, but they're doing a Brighton offshoot of it online all through June. And Brad Tassel and I will be doing our Halloween show at least 1 week, maybe 2 weeks in June online as part of the Brighton Fringe Festival, which is an offshoot of the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. So yay!
Cool.
Things are actually happening. And FuMPFest.
Yes.
We're hoping.
We're hoping. All right. Keep me posted on FuMPFest.
All right. Yeah. Well.
And all right. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Thank you.
Catch you later.
Happy April Fool's Day.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback. Feedback. You know that segment of the show we do about now?
Feedback.
Feedback.
Draconis alert. Draconis alert. Draconis alert.
Draconis wrote, "Welcome to the French Union of Marzipan Producers podcast with your chef, Monsieur Devo Spice et le Great Luc Ski. Today on the program, we learn how to make crepes Goodie and Whitmire du fromage." Thank you, Draconis. And that's all the feedback we got.
Yay! How about teasing?
Teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's song is by Robbie Ellis.
Woo!
And if you're a frequent listener of this show, you know what song it is. Yeah, pretty much. And Tuesday's song is not yet posted. Or at least it wasn't when I wrote up the script. It might be by now. And tomorrow's special playlist topic, in honor of Dr. Demento's 80th birthday, I put together a playlist of some of the biggest hits from the Dr. Demento show. It's half what you would think of as the biggest hits and half of like FuMP #1 songs. So go enjoy that.
What's that? I don't know what you're talking about. Everyone knows nothing happened on the Dr. Demento show significance past 1992.
All right, let's get out of here. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
I'm Luke Ski!
And nobody else is here because nobody cares.
Yay! We're in the Hex.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, shout it to random people on the street, and be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say,
I'm a Sokovian fortune teller.